How's everybody doing out there? Happy Pride! Now, I gotta tell you, I want to be a little bit political with y'all today if I can. 7 years ago, I marched in my first Pride Parade. It was a cold and rainy day, and I think the number of people in the parade outnumbered the spectators. And I got a little sense of what it was like in those first parades, when marching in the parade was an act of tremendous personal courage. It was an act that said, I'm standing up for others in this community and I don't care what happens to me. The next year, as mayor, I got to be the first mayor to march in the parade as the Grand Marshal. And I got in that convertible, and there were thousands of people. I say it's just because I was the Grand Marshal, mostly because it was a sunny day. There were thousands and thousands of people, and I stood up on the stage at the end of that parade, and I said what I'm going to say again today. The great promise of our community, the promise that we fight for every single day, is that we have built a place where it doesn't matter what you look like or where you come from. It doesn't matter how you worship or whom you love. Every single person in every single corner of this community deserves a life of dignity. Every single person in every single corner of this community deserves the chance right here, right now, to live a great Canadian life. And on a day like today, a day of such joy, a day of such excitement, a day of music and parades and color and fashion, it must be exhausting to live this life all the time. But on a day like today, we have to remember something. We have to remember that this incredible community that we've built is also a very fragile community. We have to remember that we live in a time where voices of anger and bitterness are growing louder and louder and louder. They are integrating themselves in voices of hatred and intolerance, louder and louder and louder. Racism, religious bigotry, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, louder and louder and louder. So what do? What is the cure? What is the antidote for that? Folks, this right here, this is the cure. This is the antidote. The power is love. And the power is using our everyday hands and our everyday voices every single day to stand up for the rights of every other one of us in this place, right here, right now, every day. It's become very fashionable to talk about those of us who speak for kindness and compassion and mercy and love as somehow weak. They call us snowflakes. Never, 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 never make that mistake. Never mistake kindness and compassion and mercy and love for weakness. It is strength. It is strength beyond the imagining of the small-minded and of the intolerant. And it's not just about politicians. We can stand up here and make speeches and stand up for the dignity of people every single day. We have to do it. And yes, we have to stand up against politicians who flirt with the small-minded and the intolerant for short-term political gain. We have to tell them that's not acceptable. We have to vote for politicians who stand up for dignity of every single human being. But it's not about politicians. It's about every one of us. Every single one of us, with our everyday hands, our everyday hearts, and our everyday voices, making extraordinary change every day. So folks, if we are snowflakes, bring on the blizzard. Thank you all. Happy Pride.